Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back this week for UFC Fight Night 32, the second fight card going on this week on Saturday, November 9th from Guiana, Brazil. We have in the main event Vitor Belfort versus Dan Henderson. Great main event. So we're going to go over my predictions for the main card. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know your Twitter account. We can tweet about the fights in real time, and I really want to know who your picks are too, so let me know that. So let's get it going. First up is Honey Jason versus Jeremy Stevens, or Honey Mariano Bezerra. In that fight, I believe that Honey Jason will pull off the W against Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens has only won one out of his last 3 or 4 fights, and that was by decision. Whereas Honey Jason is on a pretty good winning streak right now, most of which are by submissions or knockouts. So I'm pretty impressed with him, and I definitely think he'll pick up the pace and get it done in front of his home country, as Brazilians always do. Next up, we have the Argentinian Santiago Ponzinibbio, I think that's how you pronounce it, versus Ryan LaFleur. Now, I was looking online, and although Ryan LaFleur is a favorite in this one, I'm going to go with Santiago. I watched The Ultimate Fighter Brazil 2, and Santiago seemed to be a pretty good fighter on it. He seemed like a really determined guy. He made it into the finals, but he broke his hand, so I think he's going to come back ready to go and just ready to fight in front of the South American crowd and the Brazilians. And he's going to bring it to Ryan LaFleur. Next up, we have Paulo Thiago versus Brandon Satch. As we all know, Paulo Thiago is, of course, the veteran, but I'm going to go with Brandon Satch on this one. Brandon Satch had his UFC debut at UFC in Indianapolis 2 months ago, and he looked great. Can't remember exactly who he finished, but Justin Edwards. He finished Justin Edwards in the first round, 1 knockout of the night, and I think he took that fight on short notice too. He trained his GSP, and Brandon Satch just looked like an animal. And at 1 minute and 23 seconds, he went in there and he just banged it to Justin Edwards, and he was throwing knees, crazy punches, elbows. The pace is just insane, especially for a guy who had to cut weight in just a very short amount of time. I think Brandon Satch is going to come in there and really bring it to Paulo Thiago and shut him down big time. Next up, we have Rafael Cavalcante, the former Strikeforce light heavyweight champ, versus the Polak Igor Prokopjak. I mean, not Polak, Croatian. Sorry. In that fight, I definitely think Rafael Cavalcante will get the W, even though he got knocked out in his last fight against Thiago Silva. He's still a pretty elite fighter, and he could give some people a run for the money in the light heavyweight division for sure. Like I said, he was the former Strikeforce light heavyweight champ. Sorry about that. And Igor Prokopjak isn't looking too good. He's lost his last 3 or 4 fights. Yeah, he's lost his last 3 fights. Well, one of them was a no contest, but he still lost it regardless. I mean, yeah. So I think Rafael Cavalcante will come in and just show how he gets it done, and he'll put it together for the Brazilian crowd. And he'll be looking to avenge. He'll be looking to get some respect after losing that knockout to Thiago Silva. And then in the co-main event of the evening, we have Cesar Ferreira, who won. I think he won middleweight on Ultimate Fighter Brazil 1. I'm not too sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Against Daniel Sarafian. In his last fight at UFC 163, Cesar Ferreira looked like an animal. He won by guillotine choke within the first, I think it was 45 seconds in a fight around there. And yeah, it looked awesome, man. He looked like a beast. He's one of Vitor Belfort's main training partners, and he looks like he's just hungry as hell. He looks like he can just, in a year from now, I could see him skyrocketing and up almost towards the top 10. Whereas Daniel Sarafian isn't really. He's a good fighter, but I don't think he'll be able to pull it together against Cesar Ferreira. I think Cesar Ferreira will go in there and possibly even shut him down in the first round. I can see that happening for sure. And then we have our main event of the evening, which is, of course, Vitor Belfort versus Dan Henderson. I'm sure tons of people are excited for this fight. This has been a fight that's been in the making for years and years and years. At least 5 years, probably more. This is going to be a great fight. You got 2 of the best light heavyweights in the world here. coming in against each other. Well, actually, Belfort's ranked at middleweight right now, but he's still light heavyweight. So I think that Vitor Belfort will pull off the W. If I had to say just from intuition, I think Vitor Belfort will pull off the W. He's been looking great lately. He knocked out Michael Bisping. Then he knocked out Luke Rockhold in the first round with that spinning wheel kick. He's just looking great. He seems like he's hungry as hell. And you got to remember that his only 2 losses since 2006 have been against the 2 best fighters on the planet. Arguably the 2 best fighters on the planet, Anderson Silva and John Jones. So I think that Vitor Belfort is going to come in there like Vitor Belfort always does. He's going to start strong, and he's just going to bring it to Dan Henderson. And the only problem that I could see happening is that Vitor Belfort could tire out in the later rounds, because you got to remember this is a 5-round fight. But I think Vitor Belfort will be able to pull off the W. I definitely don't see him knocking out Dan Henderson, but at the same time, I don't think Dan Henderson will catch. I think Vitor Belfort's too smart to get caught with one of those H-bombs. So I think he'll play it safe. He'll go in there, be a really smart fighter, but still be aggressive. And maybe he'll slide a submission on Henderson or something. You never know, but I think Belfort will win this fight. Don't forget to tune in to Fox Sports 1 on Saturday evening. Coming from Guarana, Brazil, Vitor Belfort, Dan Henderson. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. in the East. Wait, let me try that again. 5 in the East. 5 in the West and 8 in the East, and only on Fox Sports 1. There, pulled the chill something.